Hello and welcome back to part 10 of my journey towards my Bachelor of Science Information Technology degree from Western Governors University. So it's been a good week. I've been able to complete 2 more classes. So this video is going to be based on those classes and what I did to pass. Alright, let's start off with the first one, which was American Politics in US Constitution, which was class number C963. Now, this class has divided the community quite a lot. If you look at the different forums, a lot of people think this is pretty boring and the material is fairly dry. And I can't say it's not. However, I don't think it's that difficult. So if you prepare to get stuck into it, you should be able to pass this one fairly quickly. I had no prior experience of this topic and I was able to do it with about 20 hours of study. So I'm thinking those of you that have touched on this before, probably a refresher and a few knowledge gap fill-ins, I think you might be able to turn it around quicker. So what does the course entail? What kind of things do they cover? Well, there's some key areas that you'll need to learn and understand. The first part, of course, is the Articles of Confederation, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and of course the amendments, separation of powers and checks and balances. That's really important that you understand how the different parts of the government work together. Committees and interest groups, super PACs, things like that. How do they influence the House of Representatives and the senators, and how does policy get set and how do laws get passed? They're all key areas. Elections, they're a huge part of the course. How does someone get elected? How often are elections? How does the president, for example, get elected? And how do the votes get counted for that? For example, like electoral votes, how are they assigned to the different states and things like that? So having an understanding of that is really important, and the material will go through that. The other key area is Supreme Court cases. So in all, there's about 30 to 40 that the actual content kind of goes over. And these are key cases in American history that have shaped the country and defined the country to what it is now. So let me give you an example. So, for example, from way back time, you're looking at things like McCulloch versus Maryland and Marbury versus Madison. And to more modern times, like Wade versus Roe or Miranda versus Arizona. How do these cases? How did they change the US as it is today? It's really important to know that. So, how do you learn this stuff? Well, as always, WGU has a pretty comprehensive learning material. As always, you can break it down module by module and do the tests at the end to see where you are. They also send you a list of videos that you can watch, and they're quite useful as well. And they align quite nicely with the modules, so you can watch the videos and work your way through if you have any questions. Now, a question I'm sure you're wondering is, can I just watch the videos and pass? Maybe is the question. I think you'll probably need a little bit more than that, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But there's a lot of information in those videos that if you have a fundamental understanding already and then you watch the videos, you might not need to dig too deeply into the course material. So on that note, where else can I do to get course material? What else can I use? And the key thing for me here is Quizlet. Quizlet is your friend in this particular class. So I'll place links in the introduction for you, or the description to key Quizlet flashcards. First one you need to learn is the amendments. There's 27 of them. You need to know which each one of them and what they mean and how they basically have changed American history and what politics. It's really important that you know those because you will be tested on them. The next, obviously, we just talked about was the Supreme Court cases. There's some really good links to those. You can flashcard them so you understand the different ones and what they mean. Learn those. I think between amendments and court cases, I'd say probably half of your final is based around those questions on those topics. So having a good understanding of those will really help you. Finally, YouTube also has another series of videos, and it's, let me see what it's called. I'm going to put a link in the description as well. And it is called, I'm trying to find it for you, US Government and Politics Crash Course. This is from a guy called Craig Benzine. They're really good. There's 50 or so of them. They're between 5 and 10 minutes long, and they're really entertaining, believe it or not. You wouldn't think this topic could be made entertainment, but they've deliberately gone out of their way to make them funny and witty, and there's a lot of animation. And honestly, they're not like you're watching a history class or something. This is like a kind of almost comedy in some ways, believe it or not. They're actually pretty good, so they will help as well. I think if you watch those, they would really give you a good foundation as well. So the actual exam itself is 60 questions. It's 2 hours long. If you know the content, I don't think you're going to need anywhere near that because it's all multiple choice. I think probably take you 45 minutes to an hour if you're pretty comfortable. A lot of the questions you can make educated guesses you can't quite remember. But like I said, if you cover the things I just mentioned in this course, and you should be okay. I don't think it's going to be too bad for you. So the other class I did this week was Organizational Behaviour and Leadership. Excuse me, people like me that have a little bit of past experience that have worked in like a corporate environment are going to be at a slight advantage, or actually quite a big advantage to regular people that maybe haven't been in that environment. And the reason why is a lot of stuff covered in this topic, this program, is basically stuff that you would have seen in a general office environment. So the course is made up of areas like group development, behaviour influences, teams and team building, organizational culture, leadership, and performance evaluation. So again, all those are phrases that I'm sure if you've worked in an office, you know what those are and what they mean. If you've ever read a good leadership book, for example, you've probably heard quite a lot of those. If you haven't, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, I don't think this is the toughest course. You could probably pick up that stuff quite quickly. And honestly, a lot of it's common sense. I would recommend do the pre-assessment first, as always, and see where you are and then focus on those knowledge gaps. For me, I went straight to the pre-assessment, did pretty well, focused on the areas, and then took the test. In all, I probably only spent about 4 hours on this particular class, including the exam, which was 75 questions in an hour and a half, but it didn't take that long. So definitely a possibility for a quick win, test out kind of thing, if you have some experience, and not too bad at all. So good week, 6 credit units completed. So for me, let me give you a quick update where I am. So I have 17 weeks left in my first term. If you remember, I transferred in 11 credit hours. So with the 36 that I've already done, that puts me at a total of 47 credit hours, leaving me 74 left. So not too bad. So according to Western Governors University, I'm about 39% through my program. So I'm looking pretty good for a year if I can keep this pace up, which, I don't know whether I can, but that's my goal. Next up for me is Ethics in Technology and Introduction to Humanity. So should be a fairly interesting week or so. So that's all I have for today. I hope your study is going really well. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And thumbs up would be nice if you can. I guess I'm becoming a proper YouTuber by asking you for that. Thank you for the new subscribers. The videos are getting more and more popular every week, so that's great as well. So that's all I have for today. Keep safe, and I'll talk to you soon.